Coming up on the Sports Desk.
Business is picking up under the Friday night lights. We're bringing you all the action from North and West games.
We'll take a look at water polo, volleyball, and tennis with the reigning singles Pioneer League champ.
And we've got a special feature with Torrance's Assembly member Al Merisucci and how he's taken a love of the South Bay to the state level.
We've got highlights and scores of all your favorite fall sports. Let's get it, Torrance. The Sports Desk starts right now.
Hello, and welcome to the Sports Desk, the only sports show designed with the Torrance fan in mind.
We're your hosts. I'm Cedric Welton and my co-host Dani Miskell. And we like to say here on our show, your dreams are now fulfilled. You're rocking with the desk.
We're so glad you tuned in, and we've got a lot to cover about what's happened in this last week. But first, let's connect on social media. We want in all the action with you, so DM us on Instagram, shoot us a message on Facebook, or tweet us. We want to hear from you.
That's right, Torrance. Without you, there's no us. Now let's get to the action.
The North Saxons entertained the Gahr Gladiators, and this game was a close call.
Close call indeed. Sports Desk reporter Anthony Ciardelli gave us all the details.
Hello again from North High School, where the Saxons football team was trying to get their second win in a row. Their opponent would be the Gladiators of Gahr High School, who wanted to rebound after last week's loss to Milliken. The Saxons were fired up before the game, but it's Gahr's offense that ignites first. On the opening kickoff, Micah Bernard blasts through the middle. He's almost untouched as he goes nearly 95 yards to the end zone. Right away, the Gahr Gladiators take the lead 7-0. Then the Gladiators get aggressive. They try the onside kick, it bounces around, and they recover it at their own 45. But on 4th and 2, spitting distance from the end zone, Jordan Simpson shovels it behind Bernard. That's a fumble. North's Kekoa Campbell recovers, keeping Gahr from extending their lead. Gahr would get the ball back, and you don't see this often in high school. Carlos Sandoval drills the 49-yard field goal. Gahr leads 10-0. But the Saxons strike right back. On their first play from scrimmage after the kickoff, Stephen Bradford breaks through the middle, and no one's going to catch him. North cuts the lead to 3. It's 10-7 Gladiators. After Gahr tries the fake punt and fails, the Saxons get a short field, and Braden Diacampo makes it 14-10 North after the PAT. Next drive, though, Gahr retakes the lead on Simpson's diving QB keeper. After the extra point, the Gladiators go up 17-14. On to the second half, with Diacampo in the shotgun. It's a reverse! Bo McGlinty gets the edge and breaks a couple tackles, carrying it all the way to the Gahr 11-yard line. 2 plays later, Diacampo gets his second touchdown of the night. North retakes the lead, and after an extra point, it's 21-17 Saxons. On the next drive, midway through the third, Gahr passes across midfield, and it's picked off by McGlinty, who falls to the turf. He would be okay, though, just a cramp, because he gets up and look at the Penguin shuffle and the smile on his face. On to the fourth quarter, Diacampo in the shotgun. He rushes to his left and gets into the end zone. The Saxons extend their lead 28-17. Gahr would make it close as Simpson dives for another touchdown. The Gladiators then convert the 2-point conversion, 28-25 Saxons. But the Saxons run out the clock and hold on for the 28-25 victory. Head coach Todd Croce was impressed by his team's resilience.
They can bounce back. They don't take things too personally, and they just want to keep playing.
They're athletic. They're very athletic. They're quick. They're running back number 2. He was very good running back. We just kept playing hard, didn't put our heads down too quick, just kept a short-term memory. That's it.
It was another back-and-forth game for North, but they were able to get their second win in a row. The rushing attack was lethal again, with Stephen Bradford rushing for a touchdown and Braden Diacampo rushing for 3 touchdowns. Reporting for the Sports Desk, I'm Anthony Ciardelli from North High School.
Thanks, Anthony. The Warriors of West High were in action as well. They welcomed Tesoro to their house, and this game was one they wanted to get back. But before we get into these highlights, let's see who everyone was rooting for on the team. Dani, why don't you tell us about this segment that we're bringing back this season?
You've got it. We're going to be doing our own rendition of Fans in the Stands. So look for us at the games, everyone, and come jump on the mic. We started at West High, and I asked which players everyone was rooting for. Let's take a look.
We're the Warriors of West, and you're watching the Sports Desk.
And I'm here with Owen. Owen, tell me how the game is going tonight for you guys.
Oh, man. You know, they had us in the first half, but I really think we're about to bounce back in the second half. I think getting that score on the board, that's going to boost everybody's confidence and morale, so I think we're going to come back this half.
Hey, that's what's up. I like that. Let's boost some confidence morale here in the stands. Which players are you out here supporting tonight specifically? Who's your boy?
My boys, Dylan Cardenas, Brandon Osorio, Skylar Williams, all of them. I'm friends with all of them.
So tell us, which of these players are you out here supporting tonight?
I'm out here supporting my brother, Jonathan Masuda, number 61. Shout out my boy.
So as most of you should remember, Alex Miskell from the basketball season, this guy, he's a legend here at the high school. How do you feel the game is going tonight, Alex?
We're doing pretty, we're not doing the best right now, but we're going to do better in the second half. So.
Do you think Tesoro is a pretty competitive team? What is it that they have that's made the advantage in the first half so far?
Probably just size. I think we have better skill. They're just big. So if we can get over that, we'll win.
You know all about that mismatch. You're so tall. Who is the guy that we want to look out for tonight in tonight's game?
Number 22, Dutch Silverlake. Number 1, Will Adams. And number 2, Brandon Poffenberger.
All right, can you just tell us why West is the best football team in the Pioneer League?
We are the best football team in the Pioneer League because we have the 3 best players in the league, Will Adams, Dutch Silverlake, and Brandon Poffenberger.
Let's go, Warriors!
Very awesome, Danny. Now let's see these guys in action. The Titans would strike first blood early in the first. Kyle Law found Jacob Gonzalez in the flat to put the score at 7-0. The biggest momentum shift for the game came on this block punt in the second quarter, down to the 3-yard line by Cooper Galloway to set the Titans up in the red zone. Couple plays later, Jacob Gonzalez came out the backfield, punched it in from short to give the Titans a 14-3 lead at the half. The Warriors wouldn't get into the end zone until the third quarter on this Jacob Moreno run to cut the lead to 14-10. It was too much Titans, however, as the run game was clicking all night. Here's Gonzalez again, and he had himself a game with 4 touchdowns. Final score, Tesoro 34-13, and I caught up with West head coach Greg Holt following the game.
Coach Greg Holt, obviously not the result we wanted, but your boys played very admirable against a very tough team. Can you just reflect on how they competed this evening?
Yeah, we knew going in, obviously. I mean, people know Tesoro. They know what they're made of, and they're one of the best teams in Orange County. And you know, it was something that we weren't sure, that we wanted to go in and schedule someone like that. But once it's on the schedule, you got to get ready to play. And our guys, I tell you what, I'm really proud of our guys. I told them, don't be satisfied with the loss. You play this game to win, and we're not satisfied that we played hard and lost. But with that being said, we played extremely hard. I was proud of the way they played. I told them before the game, I don't care what the score is at the end. I mean, if we win, we're going to win. If we lose, we're going to lose. But I want to know, are you going to compete tonight against one of the better teams around? And we did. I thought we really played hard. I saw some great plays tonight. I saw some weaknesses too, but I thought, coming out of this, I feel a heck of a lot better about our football team.
Let's go around the league and take a look at the scoreboard. South traveled to Santa Monica and came up short.
The Tartars are still in search of their first win after falling to Peninsula.
Bishop Montgomery fell to El Segundo 47-13.
And the El Camino Warriors did lose to Bakersfield 20-15. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, but don't go anywhere because you won't want to miss what's coming up.
Keep it locked right here. We'll be right back.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Cedric Welton, along with my co-host, Dani Miskell. It's time to step away from the gridiron and into the pool.
That's right. We're about to dive in with the North High Water Polo team as they were in action against Cabrillo High School. SportsDesk reporter Anthony Ciardelli files this report.
The North Saxons High School water polo team played their first home game at the new Aquatic Center tonight. Not only is the Aquatic Center new, many of the players are new to the sport of water polo as well. The Saxons came up against Cabrillo High School, an experienced team that's already 4-2 on the season, and the Saxons were looking for an upset. Saxons head coach Samantha Beatty was hoping her team would improve to 2-0 after winning their first match against Banning High School by forfeit. But the Jaguars' experience would be too much for the Saxons. Barely 30 seconds in, Angel Ortiz takes the feed and fires it past Randy Kwok for the 1-0 lead. Just over a minute later, the Jaguars score again. This time it's Corey Thompson putting it in for Cabrillo. It wasn't all Jaguars though. With the Saxons trying to stay in the game, Kwok stuffs Cabrillo's Noe Villalone. Then he comes up with another tough save on Villalone. Later in the first quarter, trailing 5-0, Colton Kipple skips the pass to Scott Fukushima. He puts it home to get the Saxons on the board. Midway through the second quarter, the Jaguars are up big, but there's no quit in the Saxons as Kwok rejects Thompson from point-blank range. Then, with a minute left in the second quarter, Nathan Lee dishes it to Nolan McKellar, who picks the top corner from a long way out. The Saxons get their second of the game. On to the second half now, when the Jaguars get a pretty goal by Villalone. He shoots no look behind the back and scores. Cabrillo leads 16-2. The Saxons continue to battle though. In the fourth quarter, Matt Gregory takes the pass from Lee and he scores the Saxons' third of the game. With over a minute left in the game, Gregory returns the favor, getting it to Lee, who floats one past the goalie for the Saxons' fourth goal. Finally, with time winding down, Kwok, playing out of the goal now, gets it to Kipple and the lefty picks the top corner, bringing the score to 20-5, which is how it would stay as Cabrillo gets the win. Even though the game was one-sided, the Saxons were encouraged with their performance.
There's a lot of pressure on them, but they actually kept up pretty well with a pretty good team. So I'm really proud of them.
They're a pretty impressive team. I was surprised at myself getting a couple blocks in too, but getting in those blocks felt pretty good, and I could have improved myself too, but it was a good experience.
I just think the physicality, we're not really used to being so physical in the pool and just racing, so I feel like the physical aspect is really hard for us to get used to. Yeah, I just see us like working a lot together, and before I think we were just kind of separate individuals, and now we're kind of like one team.
It was a tough night for the Saxons as Cabrillo High School jumped out to an early lead and never looked back. There were some bright spots, however, as goalie Randy Kwok made some great saves in the face of an offensive onslaught. Next up for the Saxons, it's Beverly Hills High School on Friday. Reporting for the Sports Desk, I'm Anthony Ciardelli.
Thanks, Anthony. Now, let's hit the courts.
We're about to shoot some hoops.
Not the hoop courts, the tennis courts. North High girls were in action, led by Pioneer League singles champ Emma Shaw Lassou.
The Lady Saxons varsity tennis welcomed El Segundo to their home courts this past week. Led by junior captain as well as reigning singles Pioneer League champion Emma Shaw Lassou, the Lady Saxons are poised for big things this season. They're coming off a big victory that saw them defeat the Banning Pilots 6-0 last week, and today the energy kept rolling and so did the Saxons. We're expecting big things from these Lady Saxons this season and looking forward to seeing if Emma Shaw can repeat as a singles champion 2 years in a row. Reporting from North Torrance High School, I'm Cedric Welton for the Sports Desk.
The Lady Knights were in action as well, defeating LaSalle 11-7. Congrats, Bishop.
Well, let's look at some other courts, the volleyball courts, and let's go around the league and see how our girls are doing.
The Tartars are looking hot. They defeated El Segundo 3-1.
The Lady Knights took out my precious Carson Colch 3-1.
And the Lady Spartans took on Palos Verdes Sea Kings, but came up short with the final score 3-1.
And the Lady Saxons fell to Culver City 3-0.
It's time for another break, but don't go too far.
Next up, Dani has a very special feature for you all.
That's right, you don't want to miss it.
Coming up next on the Sports Desk.
Every year, humans habitually gather for what they call the summer barbecue. Unfortunately, leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire. Now, could it be?
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
By George, it's Smokey Bear. These friends are going to learn a thing or two about extinguishing hot coals. Indeed, it looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good stir. Next, another long quenching drink for the hot coals. Chilling. And finally, a close feel to confirm they're safe to leave. Smokey has this mastered.
Cool? Okay.
Bang on, Smokey.
Hey, Smokey. Catch. Oh. My bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk, everyone. Time to pull those phones out and your tablets while you're at it. Hashtag follow for follow. All we seek is your love on social media. Give us a follow and stay in the know.
Yes, please share your story ideas, Post your photos and videos. Lend us your voice.
We'd love to hear from you.
All right, this next story is a very special feature on a bill that California Governor Jerry Brown just signed. And the man to author the bill was Torrance's very own Assemblymember Al Muttasucci. Bill 1782 has declared surfing as the official state sport of California. So we're going to head down to Torrance Beach, where I got to speak with him on how he made it all happen.
What inspired Bill 1782?
Well, you know, I mean, I've been living in Torrance in the South Bay for almost 25 years, and I've spent a lot of time out here. And so, you know, like everyone in Torrance, I love the beach, I love the ocean, and I like to go surfing. And so, you know, what better way to celebrate California culture, the California style, and the South Bay style than to make surfing our official sport.
Last year, Assemblymember Muttasucci heard there was a bill to declare the state's official nut. It prompted him right away to draft Bill 1782. He figured if California can have an official state nut, then it can definitely have an official state sport.
And so that's where I started thinking about surfing. Surfing is the most iconic California sport. There's nothing that captures the California dream more than you know, surfing, catching the you know, golden waves of opportunity, and while living in harmony with nature. And so those were the two themes that I really focused on in pushing to make surfing California's official sport.
He says that Governor Jerry Brown had some fun with the bill when he first presented it. They're always discussing more serious businesses of the state, so they had some bipartisan good laughs with the bill. In fact, his only opposition came from the outside.
I got a little pushback from some skateboarders in the California State Legislature, you know, who said that well, I think that skateboarding should be California's official sport, and then we started hearing from the baseball players and the basketball players. But again, you know, when you know, think of California, when you see like you know, images of California, the promotional ads, you know, I think it's all surfing. It's yeah, and so again, nothing more iconic that captures the California dream than surfing.
And they also got some pushback from people who don't represent any of the coastal districts. So he brought in Assembly Majority Leader Ian Calderon to co-author the bill. He represents the city of Lemoore, which has some strong ties to the surf scene.
Which is the home of the first man-made wave park that pro surfer Kelly Slater is building near Bakersfield. And so we wanted to show that, you know, hey, surfing is not just a coastal sport, but you know, it's someday it's going to be a sport that we all can enjoy, whether we live on the coast or not.
Fun fact, Assemblymember Ian Calderon was a professional surfer back in his day. So he and Assemblymember Muttasucci have their own unofficial Assembly Surf Caucus.
We did go surfing after we had a press conference announcing this bill out in Hermosa Beach, and we had some good fun.
And they even had a very special guest present at their press conference, who 100% supports the bill and all the positives it will generate.
We had the owner of Hurley, one of the biggest you know, fashion retailers that focuses on surf fashion, and you know, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry in the state of California, and it's an industry and a style that inspires people all around the world. Mm-hmm. So again, by celebrating surfing, we're celebrating California culture, and that's only going to contribute and support our coastal economy, especially right here in the South Bay.
The bill passed overwhelmingly in the Assembly and Senate on August 20th. In fact, no one voted against the bill, only a few abstained. And now Assemblymember Muttasucci is looking forward to the ways the bill will leverage his fight for the California dream.
I really emphasize the environmental message of surfing, that to live and play in harmony with nature. And so it's celebrating, you know, the beauty of the beaches and the coast, and it's also sending the message that we need to protect and respect the beach and the ocean.
And with the significant economic activity surfing generates for California each year, Assemblymember Muttasucci says the bill has already opened new doors for environmental protection, starting with the fight against offshore drilling.
Clearly, when we have oil spills, it not only you know, damages our precious marine ecosystem, but it harms our multi-billion-dollar coastal economy. And you know, for surfers, it's just not fun to have oil slick out there when we're trying to surf. The marine environment, I mean, it's a precious and delicate ecosystem that is our beaches and our coastline. And so this ties into my overall efforts to fight to protect our beaches and our coast.
Assemblymember Murasuchi says, and I quote, that he was stoked that surfing is now California's official sport. He hopes the bill will convey an important message about life through surfing that no Californian will ever forget. Reporting from the Torrance State Beach, I'm Dani Miskell with the Sports Desk.
Wow, you know what this means, Dani?
What's up, Cedric?
It means I need to sign up for some surfing lessons.
You and me both. I've only ever boogie boarded, but we can't be true Californians if we've never tried it at least once, and it looks like so much fun.
Right on. All right, everyone, that's it for this edition of the Sports Desk.
Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you, and remember, without you, there's no us.
My name is Cedric Welton.
And I'm Dani Miskell. Please join us again, same time,
same desk,
same host.
And before we let you go, don't forget to follow us on the Sports Desk social media. We have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And remember, you can email us, and we'd love to hear from you. We'll see you next week right here on
the Sports Desk.